What's going on, Boulder?
Building. I love everything that we're doing, and I love Boulder, Colorado. I do.
So a legend has spoken. He had some takes on Coach Prime and potential NFL jobs. And when Nick Saban talks, you gotta listen to him. And I think this was an interesting take for Saban earlier this week on The Pivot with Ryan Clark and the crew. But also, I can see why this to me leads to Prime probably never leaving college. So let's dive into the statements that Nick Saban said and what all this means here on the Prime Time for College Football. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So Nick Saban went on The Pivot earlier this week and he talked about his friend, his buddy, his commercial Aflac partner, Deion Sanders. And it was after the announcement that Coach Prime had a conversation with Jerry Jones about the Cowboys job. And it was a very simple statement, but as you went through the show on The Pivot and listened to Saban talk, there were some components in there that made me feel like even though he would endorse it, I think that Saban would prefer Prime not to leave. And this is what he said. So on there, Nick Saban said, whenever there was, they were talking about Deion Sanders, talking to Jerry Jones about the job, Saban said, I want him to get that job. Now, hear me out, Buzz fans. This is not a full-fledged endorsement of Saban saying that he wants Prime to go to the NFL, but it's more of he thinks he deserves the opportunity to go to the NFL, while at the same time himself is a cautionary tale of making that move. And I totally get it. Now, the Dallas Cowboys showed that they are very much unserious by hiring Brian Schottenmeier as their new head coach on a 4-year deal. And I guess Jerry Jones said that he's no longer a Brian or something like that. I don't know. It sounds weird to me. But the thing about it is that they showed themselves as being extremely unserious by making that hire. But Saban, speaking on this, he basically is saying to Prime, look, if you deserve the opportunity to go to the NFL. And I think that my friend, my buddy, deserves a chance to step out there. And I totally get why he said it, while at the same time understanding that I don't think it's a good idea. Because Nick Saban talked about himself when he decided to go to the NFL and his feelings on that. Let's break that portion of it down because I think that's the part that, to me, really will resonate for Coach Prime. But first, shout out to our partners at BetUS hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on the first deposit to $2,000. 125% bonus on your second and thirds by using promo code YouTube150. And BetUS now has their Heisman winners early lines out there. And you've got yourself a buff on there. Caden Salter plus 2,500. And if you want to get on the action, you can do that at BetUS. They also have gambler's insurance. So they're going to take care of you, get you back 10% of your net losses twice a year to keep you in the game. So if you want to jump on the action, check out BetUS. Using our promo code YouTube150, they're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your second and thirds by using that promo code YouTube150. BetUS, where the game begins. And so when Saban was talking on The Pivot, and this is why I feel like this is very interesting, he talked about his time at Miami and he talked about his biggest regret. And for him, his biggest regret was leaving LSU for the Miami Dolphins. And this is when he said, when I left LSU, that was probably the professionally the biggest mistake that I ever made, Saban said. Not because we didn't have success in Miami, because I enjoyed coaching in Miami, but I found out in that experience that I like coaching in college better because I could develop players. That to me is a cautionary tale there for Coach Prime, because Coach Prime has said it himself on numerous occasions. And that's why on here I've had a higher ratio of him staying than leaving, because that's what Prime has said. He doesn't want to coach adults. He prefers to coach young men. He likes to develop players. He feels like his calling from God is to coach the young players and develop young men. And to me, it makes sense because for Saban, realizing he had to leave to understand that, I really do prefer to be coaching young players, I think that Prime would have the exact same feeling if he decided to leave Colorado and go to the NFL. And for me, I had said if he leaves, it wouldn't be until after the NFL draft or around the NFL draft, because I know that they're going to stick to their word and have a massive watch party there at Colorado so all the fans can enjoy this moment together of Shedeur, Shiloh, as well as Travis Hunter getting drafted, because we know Travis Hunter and Shedeur are most likely to get drafted within the top 5 picks. So celebrating that with the local community and continuously giving back, that just shows you the dedication that Prime has there to Boulder. He loves it there. And it's been said ad nauseum. Our guy Dukes over there, Dukes the Scoop, had talked about it on the show and the conversation he had with Prime. And Prime was more excited about talking about players have the team having a 3.0 GPA average, which is the highest in school history. He's more excited about that and some of the young players than even talking about the potentials of even going to the NFL. He reached out to him about some players and what players to look at in the Atlanta area. And so, Dukes, when he talked about that to me jumped out. I'm like, okay, that makes sense that he really does have a passion for coaching young players. And so that cautionary tale from Saban saying his regret was leaving LSU, because he could have been legendary there at LSU just like he was at Alabama, because the talent was there and his work ethic is there. More so taking the chance and realizing, this isn't for me. And I think that Saban wants Prime to have the opportunity to figure that out for himself as well, while at the same time, wanting to make sure Prime understands that, hey, if this is truly your calling, as you know, they have a lot of private conversations. And they are a lot more alike than people realize. Coach Prime is an old school coach. He coaches similar to the way Saban does, very hard-nosed, very much about accountability and being a better man. And you can tell that he's pushed that upon the players to make sure they understand that that's the standard. The standard is excellence. And you're going to continue to see that over the next couple of years as Prime continues to coach. He's been showing that that's what he wants. So leaving is probably not an option for Prime, because he's going to probably hear that from Saban and say, yeah, you're right. I thoroughly enjoy coaching young men more than I do actually, going into the professional ranks. But is that something down the line? Can't say. Prime's in his late 50s. There's a chance that he may decide that he wants to, make the jump at least once before he retires. But as of now, as of today, my entire thoughts is Prime's probably going to be a buff long-term. I'm upping it to 80-20 because all these articles are going to continue to drop. Everybody's going to keep saying that, Prime's very interested in his job, and it's going to keep leaking out. The question now is, can Colorado do what it needs to get that extension done? You need to go ahead and do it because people have interest, and make sure he's taken care of, not only on that front, but make sure that we're working closely with the community to get that NIL stuff going, because NIL is going to be critical going forward. But the good thing is that once this new administration really gets settled and they start tackling the college football stuff, you're going to see a change to where things can balance out. But the Buffs have it. The Buffs are going to be able to be successful long term. I think Prime's strategy in the portal has shown that it's going to pay dividends. And we'll break down all the portal players tomorrow. We've already recorded the video to dive into it, and we're going to jump in and talk more about that. But let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. How you feel about Saban's statement and Saban, wanting Prime to get the job? What do you think about that? Now, I don't think that, like I said, I don't think it's malicious. I think it was more so Saban saying, look, he deserves the opportunity. He's a dang good coach. And he's showing more and more, like I said, that he's looking more and more like the way that Saban coaches. Now he needs to find a way to get the Saban success so everyone respects him. All right, we'll talk about the class, the portal class so far. Spring portal is going to be coming up here in April. So we'll look at the players today here at the winter time and see what, maybe what gaps need to be filled as the roster is going to be filling out. And then we'll talk more in detail about recruiting, because we're now at the point where junior days are coming, junior weekends are coming up, players are going to be visiting, all of that. So make sure that you hit that like and that subscribe button. Make sure that and the bell notification so you don't miss any videos. And we'll check out the last video. Shout out to our partners at Bet US. They're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. And yeah, we'll chop it up soon.